I'm Larry Farber, and let's queer up politics. Rand Paul's son apologizes after reported anti-gay and anti-Semitic rant. Republican Senator Rand Paul's son, William Paul, is apologizing after allegedly making anti-Semitic and anti-gay remarks during a drunken confrontation with Republican Congressman Mike Lawler at a Washington, D.C. bar. In a social media post, William Paul wrote, quote, "Last night I had too much to drink and said some things that don't represent who I really am. I'm sorry, and today I'm seeking help for my drinking problem," end quote. The apology came shortly after Lawler publicly described the encounter, which reportedly happened Tuesday night at the Tune Inn restaurant and bar near Capitol Hill. According to Lawler, Paul launched into a, quote, 10-minute diatribe about Jews, end quote, and that he, quote, hates Jews and hates gays and doesn't care if they die, end quote. Lawler also claimed that Paul blamed Israel for the U.S. conflict with Iran and that he would blame any anti-American Jews if Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie loses his upcoming Republican primary race. Massie is Rand Paul's ally, and his election campaign has already drawn criticism over rhetoric targeting billionaire donor Paul Singer, who is Jewish and supports LGBTQ rights. The bar rant incident was first reported by journalist Reese Gorman of the digital outlet Notice. William Paul has reportedly faced previous charges related to drunken assault and impaired driving. Rand Paul's Senate office did not immediately comment on the incident. Well, William Paul, you need to get your act together, and also, keep politics out, and hopefully this may damage his father's career. Well, one could only hope.
One could only hope. You know, Rand Paul and his father, definitely have done a number with their libertarian shtick, as my Jewish ass is going to say, their shtick. Anyway, when he says the diatribe does not represent him, absolutely it represents you, because alcohol doesn't give you ideas in your mind that you don't already have. I've been drunk once or twice myself. I know that when I say something, when I've had a little too much to drink, I know that what I'm saying is coming directly from the heart.
And your inhibitions are lower.
Your inhibitions are lower. So basically what this alcohol did was it told him, oh no, it's perfectly fine to say what I'm about to say, and it just happened to be anti-gay and anti-Jewish. And those are, the thing is with anti-Semitism, and I do think that anti-Semitism, the term is used an awful lot for things that might just be very legitimate criticism of, a foreign country, and, so there's that. But I do have to say that one trope of anti-Semitism is that the international Jews enter into a country and try to destabilize it through the introduction of homosexuality. So the fact that he's going on a tirade, anti-Jewish, anti-gay, it all fits a larger, older trope of what the Jews are doing to destabilize the nation that you live in. And don't forget, both his father and grandfather might be doctors, but they're from Kentucky. So and I'm not saying anything horrible about Kentucky. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I actually had a friend from Kentucky, and she was wonderful. But I have to say, in the region of the country that they come from, old habits die hard. And I'm sure that there's a lot of anti-Semitism that's rife in the area that they come from. And I'm sure that whatever he spouted off that night were things that he's been hearing his whole life. And the fact that he wants to go after a Jewish funder, I believe the last name was Singer, who happens to be a very rich guy. It's very ugly. It's very ugly. And I think that, I think you should get some help. And, but I don't think that there's any curing when people have these deeply held feelings about a specific group. I think he probably should get his drinking under control, because if you're going to be that outrageous when you're drunk, obviously you can't hold your liquor. That's a problem. But as far as his views go, I don't think there's any changing those kind of views.
Sometimes too, you wonder how, with the sons and daughters of some of these politicians, including our chief leader, how far the apple does or does not fall from the tree in terms of behavior outcomes.
Sure.
And, so, we'll just have to see where this story goes. Hopefully no innocent people are hurt, and hopefully he doesn't get behind the wheel of a car.
Well, I think the only person that was hurt, you saw that picture of him being posted with his face half open, like his mouth half open. It's, if you didn't tell me that his father was a doctor and his grandfather was a doctor and they both are in the, in the House of Representatives and, in the Congress, I would think he was just another backwoods guy from the mountains of Appalachia. So, that's what his views indicate to me. So I just want to say, hope you get some help for your drinking, and I'm sorry that you hold such hateful views.
Yes.
Not really rooted in reality. So
yeah, well,
yeah.
There's no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.